Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, get your cooter on the scooter. I think I'm gonna hang out in here.
You're not allowed to come.
That wasp just fly out of my bike? Whoa. All right, let me watch my mouth before I get kicked in the head. Uh-oh, that's a bad sound. That's the beeper of doom. You don't feel beautiful?
No, I feel floofy.
What's up, weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here with the amazing, the absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, and charming, the mysterious Dr. Girlfriend, and we're hanging out with the CBX. I don't know, leave in the chat. Does she look horrendously ugly today?
I do.
Anyway, I managed to talk old Dr. Girlfriend into coming out with me today because we have the gentleman's ride over here, the gentleman's weapon, the CBX 1000. If you were at the camp out, you saw me and Dr. Girlfriend riding this around, and you liked it all right?
I did. It was nice. It was a nice ride.
Nice ride is not something I hear often about myself, so I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of it while I can.
You're really gonna take me out on this dirty thing?
What do you mean?
It needs a rub down.
A dirty thing that needs a rub down? Listen, babe, I'm right here, all right?
No, it needs to be cleaned.
It's
a little disty.
I might have left it out last night. You know, this is why we got to give this CBX away. We're actually giving this away for charity. You can buy a raffle ticket down below. 100% of all proceeds go to benefit Forgotten Angels. I'm not a great caretaker of motorcycles like this. Someone nicer needs to take care of it because I don't really wash my bikes.
Yeah, it needs to be washed.
You go ahead, knock yourself out.
It's all that pollen, that Florida pollen.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. Never mind. I was just coming up to give you a hand opening that thing right there. Yes. Ma'am?
Yes.
Miss?
Yes, sir.
My favorite. Yes, ma'am. Boys, watch out. This is why Roman hands and Russian fingers can get you in trouble. We're in Florida after all, and when it comes to standing your ground, I might be running away on this one.
Can't leave streaks. You might need a little windshield wiper.
I normally don't ride clean bikes, but what's clean by Dr. G, I find it hard to resist.
It's squeaky clean.
Not me. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I already know I should be a good boy, but you know, it doesn't help to have a little insurance when it comes to keeping Shade Tree Surgeon honest.
I'm gonna keep you in check.
I'm a good dog, but I'm still a dog, all right?
Hey, I don't shoot dogs, but...
Yes. All right, get your cooter on the scooter. I made it home. The most amazing thing is that it hadn't happened before this, but me and old Dr. Girlfriend back there were out on a date on a different motorcycle that broke down mid-date. So that was our very first time experiencing that. Luckily, I think I got it reeled in before that happened. But that wasn't a Honda. And this 1982 CBX 1000 has literally 12,000 miles on it. 12,000 miles on this bike. The 6-cylinder, the unicorn, a mighty sword that Honda has bestowed upon us with which to smite the non-believers. It's a gentleman's weapon, and I ain't no gentleman, baby, but I guess I can play pretend for a day, especially if it gets Dr. G on the back.
If they cleaned it or not.
I think it's because you cleaned it. I think you made it perfect. You made it smooth as silk. Also, you're comparing it to the shovel head that you were on the back of last night.
Oh, yeah.
Which is definitely not smooth.
All the whistles, the bells.
Oh, yeah, not the bells and whistles as in the accessories, but the bells and whistles of the noises that it makes, yeah. The bike that you were on last night, the Shovelhead, is the same year as this motorcycle. They're both 1982s. There's a world of difference between a 1982 Shovelhead and a 1982 CBX 1000. Can't have any pudding until you eat your meat, so she had to ride on the old potato maker, the Shovelhead, before she gets to experience the beauty, the thrill, the power, the smooth operation of the CBX 1000. As you guys know, my man Matt from Amp EV is the one that made this motorcycle possible and has very generously donated it to Forgotten Angels with me as the caretaker for right now. I get to put my dirty little dick beaters all over it. He has donated donated this motorcycle to Forgotten Angels for them to raffle off. Somebody is winning a mint 1982 CBX 1000 Super Sport, the inline 6. Somebody's winning this motorcycle for 25 bucks. And we got a bunch of other prizes we're gonna give away as well. Make sure you click that link down below. And if you don't know about Forgotten Angels builds tiny homes and builds up the lives of young men and women who have aged out of the foster care system. If you've been to the camp out the Forgotten Angels property, you know what they do. You know that they are changing the world one life at a time. We are all doing our best. We all, including you guys out there who support Forgotten Angels, we're doing our best to fight the homelessness crisis in America. We're cutting it off at its source, and we're taking young men and women who might otherwise be addicted to drugs, might otherwise end up in a tent on the side of the road, on the side of the street, falling through the cracks, and they're taking the time to be the parents that they never had and teach them how to be productive members of society. And that's where your 25 bucks goes. Uh-oh. I think I might need to turn it to reserve. There we go. I let it run out of gas. Not technically a breakdown, okay? Poor Dr. Girlfriend. The fact that she puts up with me and hasn't shot me yet, anyway, that's a miracle in and of itself. Where was I? Forgotten Angels. We are bad people doing good things, and karma's gonna point its finger at one of y'all out there, and you're gonna get a flight to Tampa, a one-way flight, and enough gas money to ride the CBX home on an adventure. And for everybody else, you know that you did an amazing thing. Along with some other prizes too. Like I said, we're gonna be giving away a bunch of stuff in this raffle. Stay tuned, buy your ticket, link down below. Make sure you're following Dr. Girlfriend on Instagram. And let me put some food in this girl back there, because like I said, she is armed and dangerous. And an armed and dangerous woman that's also hungry, 3 strikes and you're out, baby. Doctor's orders, the pub.
Those knuckles look good.
I'll say. Only at the Sign and Vine can you get crab stuffed shrimp and deviled crabs in between a Family Dollar and a Big Lots.
You gotta blow it.
Is that hot?
You blow it.
I don't know if I like where this is going. Delicious.
It is
so good. If you'll notice this plate, there are 2 stuffed shrimp missing, but only 1 tail. Only 1 tail.
The roughish is good for you.
I don't know what other psychopaths are in the comments right now that eat the tails. Seek help. I wasn't going to pull out the camera again because we're enjoying our meal. Well, I was enjoying it when Dr. Girlfriend told me her perfect breakfast. What was it again?
Pancakes, sunny side up eggs, and a side of big brains from Skyway Jacks. And they have to have ketchup on the brains.
Dude, I just got called the hell out for freaking leaving tails behind. Dude, I feel like a little soy boy right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I feel like, dude,
Eat it.
I feel about this big right now.
Eat the whole thing. Put the whole thing in your mouth.
Oh, I guess I have to now.
You have to. The whole thing. Shebang. Crunch, crunch, eat, eat.
And I feel so wrong.
It's gonna come out just fine.
Lincoln break. What's up, Burrito? Shade Tree Surgeon here. If you remember, recently we were working on what used to be my 1982 GL500, aka Turd Ferguson. It has been denuded, stripped of its dignity, had its insides turned into outsides. Here it stands before you. The Emperor has no clothes. Yeah, we're bringing this thing back in a very cool way to celebrate Raspberry Buffet, our cannabis strain that's coming out with Sugar Tree Farm in Oregon. That's also going to benefit Forgotten Angels. We're building this bike. We're going to give it away. So if you buy anything from Sugar Tree Farm or Sessions or Brapstar in the state of Oregon from your local dispensary, make sure you save that receipt because we're coming to Oregon with this motorcycle this summer, and it may not look like much now, but I promise you it's going to be at least, well, let's call it unique. I don't know if everyone will love it, but it'll at least be unique. Well, I'll tell you, I was gonna work on Raspberry Buffet, but something way more interesting just walked into the garage. So I think I'm gonna hang out in here instead of work on the bike.
No, you can work on the bike. You're gonna work on the bike. You're not allowed to come.
I thought that was gonna be really cool for a second. I thought I was gonna turn off the camera after making my little joke and I was gonna get to stay in there. No, they actually kicked me out, dude. This is not fair. Could someone please go to their Instagrams and advocate for me? Back again with long, tall, and deadly, blissful Ellie, all 6'5" of her. Isn't it amazing? She learned how to ride a motorcycle, bought her very first motorcycle all on her own, learned how to ride on her own after being introduced to motorcycles on the green gold wing of love, the Bangkok Bagger. And today I'm putting her back on it. Not in the driver's seat, although she did actually ride this motorcycle. Now she's going back on the back where a woman belongs.
Hey now. I was gonna say something sweet, and then you said that.
Were you gonna say something? Well, that'll teach you.
It's so nostalgic. Like back
Get on the back. Get your cooter on the scooter. It's time to roll. Hey, whoa. All right, let me watch my mouth before I get kicked in the head. It's because we have a surprise. We got a surprise for Ellie, and that's why she's got to ride on the back. You guys will see what it is in a minute. How does it feel back to being trapped?
Listen, the first time I hopped on the back of this Goldwing with you is the freest I'd ever felt.
Frick, I can't even make a joke now because that's really cool. Well, let's hope for freedom's sake this thing starts. There we go. Why wouldn't it? Except sometimes it doesn't because I had to work on it this morning because it wasn't starting. So cross your fingers. We got Biker Gorf back on here. I think that's what it was missing. It's Magic Feather. Yeah, I was giving old Blissful Ellie a hard time throwing her back on the back of the Bangkok Bagger. That's a lot of bees. What is Biker Babes, Boobs, Bush, and Beth gonna show up? We're actually taking Ellie to Bert's because they got a cool surprise for her up there. What? Traffic? Traffic on a day as beautiful as this? On this beautiful day of motorcycles heading up to get more motorcycles, and these guys are gonna give me traffic? They ought to be ashamed of themselves. At least it's traffic with a view. Yes, the beautiful cityscape of Tampa. Perfect with that big old U-Haul tower and the Burger King sign right in there. That's America, baby. Our beautiful historic skylines also include Burger King and McDonald's signs. That wasp just fly out of my bike? Was that in there somewhere? Dude, we just took the frickin' Bangkok Express, okay? It's a special celebrity appearance besides the long, tall, and deadly blissful Ellie. We got my man Kenny over here. I'll tell you, if you remember him well. This is the man who built Road King Kong. Our very first giveaway bike with Bert's Road King Kong was won by my now friend, I didn't know him before this, Lost on the Road in Portland, Oregon. And it gave me great joy to tell Kenny that the motor he built has been cross-country from Portland to Tampa twice, all over the Southwest, cross-country other ways before that, here, there, and everywhere. He's put tens of thousands of miles on it. And here's the list of all the things he's broken. An exhaust bracket.
That's it.
Other than that, he's changed the oil. So, Kenny?
Hell yeah.
Dude, you're the man.
Come see me, Bert.
As promised, I know I put you back in your place, back on the back of a bike. Just feeling nostalgic, okay? I was just feeling nostalgic, and I said, hey, I just like the good old days. The good old days when girls still rode on the back. But I got, like I said, I got a surprise for you. I got a treat for making you ride back there. We're here at Bert's Barracuda, and you can have whatever you would like. Pick out one thing, and you can have whatever you would like. If you're gonna be a lady, I'm gonna make you a lady, put you on the back of the bike. I might as well treat you like a lady, too.
Anything in the whole dealership?
I know all the salespeople here in apparel. Pick out whatever you
I
like.
think we should go outside.
Hold up one
I
second.
saw something I really liked out there.
Well, she might have come on the back of the bike, but she ain't leaving on the back of the bike. I'll let you guys figure out what happened on her channel. Up here at the Tiger Temple First Night Bazaar, our friend Ken Dean is putting on a market back here. I didn't really advertise it that much because I'll be honest, I forgot to. Aren't I a good friend?
They're gonna do more though.
Yeah, they're gonna do more. And that also means to get my first pick over here. And the very first thing we got, because I love art, always send me your art. Whenever somebody mails us something that they've drawn or shows me something that they've drawn or painted or anything like that, is my absolute favorite thing. I cannot do art myself, therefore I appreciate it out of everybody else. And I love birds too. Birds are bizarre little dinosaurs, crazy little creatures. Are they even real? The government wants you to think so. We already got some stuff from my friend Sin Jesus, including his Sexy Stamps coloring book, which I was about to buy before he traded Shay Lisi some stuff for. So, you know, save me 25 bucks there, but it's absolutely worth it. You got an online store?
Yeah, dude. SinJesus.com.
Available right now at sinjesus.com. We're going over some of the stuff. I think we've got some cool collabs coming up in the future. And of course, if you went to the camp out, you probably recognize Sin Jesus because he permanently scarred attendees. Scarred, tattooed, take your pick, man. Personally, I love to say scarred, man. I don't mind. Scar me up, baby. A lot of things have happened in between the last time we talked and the last time the shop looked different from this. We've been working on this sucker all day. I know that on the video, it's all happening all at once, but it's over the course of several days, and this is an entire day's worth of work. And now we're hanging out here with, of course, Joe the Mountain Jedi and our resident fantasy nerd, Amanda back there, the wife unit. Hit her up for all your fantasy recommendations, as long as you like smut. Most of my fantasy guys and gals out there are usually down with a little bit of smut. And speaking of smut, we have the least sexy motorcycle Honda has ever made. This motorcycle just keeps virgins virgins. So we're gonna make it a little sexier. We're gonna make it a little cooler. We're polishing it. We're gonna make it something Prince could be proud of. He rode actually a CM450.
I'd like to point something out here. This is actually ancient Sumerian text. It translates into vagina repellent.
Oh, the plastic maggot, they call it.
I can see that, yeah.
Before we make it cool, we do actually have to make it run. And the last time I rode this motorcycle, I've just been kind of avoiding this. You know, you ever meet one of those guys that like avoids the problems with their motorcycles? Oh, yeah, well, the cobbler's son has no shoes, right? I've been avoiding the fact that the last time I rode this motorcycle, it was not charging the battery.
Well, it kind of tried-ish.
I gave it as much a college try as I tried to go to college. I've been avoiding it because doing a stator on these requires engine removal. Now, this is something Honda was very fond of doing back in the day, of making all their motorcycles that required a stator require you to remove the engine to do so.
You got Sawzall, right? Problem solved.
You know what, man? He's not wrong. All right, well, Joe the Mountain Jedi is going to be the bearer of bad news, or possibly good news today. I've been crossing my fingers hoping it's the rectifier the whole time. But I've learned my lesson about throwing parts at bikes, because if I start throwing parts at bikes, Joe's going to start throwing parts at me.
We do not use the shotgun method. We figure out what is fucked up first.
Been some hard lessons here. There's been some bruises. There's been some flying rectifiers, stators, and spark plugs. But eventually I have learned that we do diagnose. We don't pray and spray.
Sounds like a pterodactyl party.
Like some kind of fetish.
Did that just come out? The pterodactyl party? Oh, so if you guys actually don't know about Amorous Dinosaur series that's on Amazon self-published books right now, do yourself a favor and don't look. Joe the Mountain Jedi, show me the way, both how to test a stator and how a stator works. I know this much. I know that a stator generates electricity.
Basically, a stator, what it does, it's kind of like an alternator in a car. It doesn't make DC voltage like everybody just assumes it does. It makes AC voltage, and that means the electricity flows in both directions. That's why you've got a regulator or rectifier. Not only does it control the voltage to keep it from overcharging and making your battery swell up looking like it had an oopsie on prom night, it converts AC current down to DC current. And just to simplify it, it basically acts like a one-way gate for electricity. It lets it go one way, but it doesn't let it go the other. Typically what happens whenever a stator fails, two things happen. Either it goes open, it just doesn't make connection, or worse, it shorts to ground. When they short to ground, that can cause all kinds of wacky shit to happen. You'll have some that will overcharge, you'll have some that will kind of sort of charge. It's not really getting it done. Of course, when you shut the bike off, that'll cause a draw if they're shorted to ground. Also, in extreme cases, if you have one short to ground bad enough, it can blow insulation off wires, electrical fire, things like that.
But we're gonna go ahead and call this one bad all around.
Yeah, no bueno. The big thing that you're looking for when you're checking any kind of a stator, whether it be a single phase charging system like on the majority of all your Harleys before the mid-2000s, let's put it that way. Virtually all Harleys are single phase that have a stator from about mid-2000s and older. Mid-2000s on up, like on the touring models, they went to three-phase because everybody started hanging all their Farkles and XM radio and boogie lights and their microwave and all kind of other shit on there.
If I can't have a Hot Pocket on my Electric Glide in Sturgis, I don't even want to go.
If you have that Hot Pocket in Alabama, it takes on a whole different meaning. Honda It's 3-phase. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to set the meter to read resistance. We're going to set it 200 ohm, which is the low end of the scale on this meter. By the way, this thing's 30 bucks or so at Harbor Freight. It is awesome. I've got 2 of these things that I use at work on the regular.
Probably every day.
I literally use it every day.
Joe knows all the Harbor Freight special deals. He knows all the good ones and he knows all the bad ones. Video on that later.
I broke a lot of shit. If you look here past all the grunge and spooge, you got 3 yellow wires here. These are the individual phase leads that come off the stator. Right there, you can see a little bit of naked wire on this one phase lead where it goes into the connector. That's already kind of a danger sign. Older bikes like this, whenever they set and age, the plastic on the insulation on the wires, it does draw up. It does shrink a little bit, and if it shrinks enough, it'll expose wire like that right there. And eventually, if this wire touches its neighbor that's in a similar state, poof, you release the mystical blue smoke and it just doesn't work anymore. Kind of like whenever the soul of something transcends from this plane of reality to the next. It doesn't matter which wire, they're all interconnected to a certain extent. Go from one terminal to its neighbor, and right there, wait on the meter to settle down just a little bit. We're showing, let's call that 7/10 of an ohm. That's okay. Let's go to the next one. Yep, 7/10 of an ohm. Just to keep it honest, let's move over to this, and we're back at 7/10 of an ohm. And lastly, we're at 7/10. Okay, so at this point, everything looks promising. I don't know what the actual spec on this is. I haven't looked it up, but generally somewhere between a half ohm to an ohm is the running average of what you'll see. Always check your service manual. That is very, very pertinent, but that's a general rule of thumb. Going by that, stator checks out good. But wait, we ain't done yet. Here's what we got to do. You always check from each phase lead to somewhere that's a clean ground on the motor. Uh-oh, bad news. That's not good. You should never see any continuity between the stator phase leads and the engine block / engine ground itself. What you have is a bad stator, because we're showing virtually the same exact resistance readings from engine ground to the connector as we were from the individual phases. So one last thing, just to make sure that we're not diagnosing something incorrectly, we're going to check for continuity. You should never see continuity from one of these stator connectors to engine ground. Uh-oh.
That's a bad sound.
That's the beeper of doom. I'm not even going to bother checking the other ones, because if you've got that, then that stator is
a hell, dude. I thought we were friends.
Sorry. I mean,
you don't sound sorry.
I could lie to you if it makes you feel better.
It would, though.
So about that Sawzall.
So what Joe the Mountain Jedi is telling me is that this stator has ceased to be.
That ain't gonna happen, Captain. It's a goner. If you've got a stator that's failed and it's shorted to ground like that, immediately that's gonna throw a red flag for me. Yes, there is a test procedure where you can test the voltage regulator and determine whether or not it's good or bad. If I've got a customer that brings a bike to me in the shop and I see a stator that's shorted to ground like that, I'm automatically going to figure a voltage regulator into the equation, because even if that voltage regulator tests good on the bench with a meter, you still don't know how many times and how badly that voltage regulator may have been overheated, overloaded. It's throwing good money after that.
It's already been put through the ringer, so you might as well just bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that customers don't like to hear. More money for something that's not actually gone bad yet? What is that called? Preventative maintenance?
It's called common sense cover your ass. Because, hey, put this stator in there, but my voltage regulator is good. I don't want to replace that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you sign this little disclaimer on your invoice. Anything that happens to that voltage regulator, we're not going to put any kind of warranty on there, and the manufacturer of the part is not going to put any kind of warranty on there either.
Joe, I'll tell you this, man. I don't use preventative maintenance in the bedroom. I don't know if you can talk me into doing it on the bike.
You like pushing?
Only in the bedroom. I guess you talked me into it.
You carry a fire extinguisher with you?
Not in the bedroom.
Spit on it. Especially on this one where we got to pull the motor out of it. Honda in their infinite wisdom put the stator on the ass end of the damn motor. If we got to go through all that, a regulator's cheap insurance. And while we're there, while we're doing this, we're going to kind of do a few bomb-proofing tricks on the wiring just to make sure that we're not having a problem later on down the road.
Somewhere back there.
It's right there.
right there. See where the frame is? Where you couldn't put your hands? That's where the stator is. Well, somebody's gonna win this bike, so whoever wins it, I think is gonna be very thankful that it was Joe the Mountain Jedi who bomb-proofed it, not me. He's basically proofing my bombs. At this point, dude, I'm gonna try to make it shiny. Joe's gonna try to make it run. All right, we got our work cut out for us. Now, I know it's incredibly hard to make a Silverwing sexy, a GL500 desirable, but we're gonna do our best, and it's in this box that I also previously used to spray paint some parts. It is widely known that the Honda Comstar wheel is probably the ugliest wheel that has ever been produced.
Ain't no probably about it.
There is one single Comstar wheel that has ever been produced that looks, we'll call it all right. We'll call it, it'll do. It's a solid 6, but if you're a solid 6 among a flock of 3s, you shine like a diamond, baby. I haven't even looked at this one yet, so I hope it's not too crappy. I did get it off of Fleabay. Of course, the Honda CX500 turbo wheels, only ever on the turbo. Solid gold, we love that around here. And I almost can't believe that they did this wheel with a shaft drive and a drum brake on a turbo motorcycle, but
Dude,
here we go.
You remember GoBots when we were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, think about that. Take all the time you need.
They're solid 6. They're waiting amongst 3s. If you've ever seen the regular Comstar, there is nothing you can say about this that's positive. It's a wheel that only a mother could love.
Well, they hold air.
And I think we're just gonna go ahead and leave them gold, man. Purple, gold, and white. It's gonna be loud, but I like them loud. That's gonna about do it for this one. Thanks for sticking around this video, which I know was all over the place, but honestly, those are my favorite kind of videos to make. My favorite kind of videos to make are ones that touch on 30 different things, and they're not very organized, they're not very focused, because I'm not very organized, and I'm not very focused, and it's hard for me to do a video about one single subject during one single day. It's more like, here's a little bit of what I got up to all week. That link for the CBX 1000, that link is down below. Be a bad person doing good things, grab a raffle ticket. Someone's winning that bike, and we're giving away a bunch of other stuff in the days coming up to when we pull that raffle. So make sure you get your ticket now so you're entered for everything. That's gonna about do it for this one, y'all. Until next time, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree? Army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.